I wiped the blood from my mouth with the back of my hand, tasting the coppery tang that mixed with the stale gum scent of the hallway. Lincoln High wasn't your postcard American dream. It was a squat brick building on the outskirts of Elmwood, Ohio, where cornfields bled into strip malls and everyone knew your sins before you did. At 17, I was Leo Ramirez, the kid who'd come out last spring during Pride Month like some fool crusader, thinking small-town tolerance was a thing. Spoiler, it wasn't. My parents, fresh off the boat from Mexico a decade ago, had hugged me tight that night, whispering prayers in Spanish. But school? School was a war zone. Jake and his crew, football jocks with gelled hair and Axe body spray, had started small. Notes in my locker. Go back to Mexico, queer. Then shoves in the cafeteria, whispers that grew into chants during pep rallies. By November, it was fists. Last week, they'd cornered me behind the gym, and I'd tasted gravel for the first time. I didn't tell anyone. Not the principal, who looked the other way because Jake's dad donated to the booster club. Not my best friend Mia, who'd transferred out after her own coming out imploded. Just me, Leo, carrying the weight like a secret tattoo under my hoodie. But David Hale? He noticed. English lit teacher, 28, with that effortless cool. Faded jeans, button-downs rolled to his elbows, and a smile that could disarm a room. He wasn't out, not officially, but the rainbow pin on his lanyard said enough. We'd bonded over Vonnegut in sophomore year. He'd pulled me aside after class, eyes crinkling, and said, "Leo, life's too short for bullshit metaphors. Slaughterhouse-Five? It's about surviving the chaos." I'd nodded, throat tight, because that's what it felt like. Me against the apocalypse. That afternoon, after the locker incident, I dragged myself to his room for extra credit. The door was ajar, fluorescent lights buzzing like angry hornets. David was at his desk, grading papers, his dark hair tousled from running fingers through it, a habit when he was deep in thought. He looked up, and his face shifted from neutral to alarm in a heartbeat. "Jesus, Leo, what happened?" He was on his feet, crossing the room in 2 strides, tilting my chin with gentle fingers to inspect the lip. His touch was clinical, but my pulse betrayed me, hammering like I'd run suicides in PE. "Nothing. Tripped." We both knew it. He sighed, that deep, world-weary sound, and guided me to a chair. "Sit. I'll grab the nurse's kit." While he rummaged in his cabinet, I stole glances. Broad shoulders straining his shirt, the faint stubble shadowing his jaw. David was the kind of gay that didn't scream it. Subtle, like the way he'd linger on Walt Whitman's verses, his voice dropping low on, "I sing the body electric." It made him safe, or so I thought. Untouchable. He knelt in front of me, dabbing antiseptic with a cotton ball. The sting made me hiss, but his proximity, warm breath, pine-scented cologne, dulled it. "Talk to me," he said softly. "This isn't nothing." Tears pricked my eyes, unbidden. "It's Jake. Again. They know about me. Everyone does. And they hate it." David's jaw tightened, a muscle ticking. He sat back on his heels, blue eyes locking onto mine. Stormy, like the Ohio skies before a twister. "Hate's a coward's weapon, Leo. It thrives in silence." He paused, then added quieter, "I know. More than you think." My breath caught. Was he? Before I could ask, the bell rang, shrill and intrusive. He stood, breaking the moment. "Go home. Ice that lip. And Leo, tomorrow we talk. For real." I nodded, floating out on a cloud of maybe. That night, in my cramped bedroom with posters of Frida Kahlo peeling at the edges, I replayed it. His touch, his words. It wasn't crush. It was lifeline. Little did I know the rope was fraying. The next week blurred into a nightmare. Jake escalated. During lunch, he accidentally dumped tray slop on me. Mac and cheese sliding down my shirt like humiliation gravy. Laughter erupted. Phones out. Snapping pics for Snapchat infamy. I bolted to the bathroom, retching into the sink, the mirror reflecting a ghost. Brown eyes hollow, curly hair matted with dairy. David found me there. Somehow, he must have heard the commotion. "Leo, His voice from the doorway, steady anchor. He locked the door, handed me a spare hoodie from his car. Soft gray, smelling of him. I changed in a stall, emerging to find him leaning against the sinks, arms crossed. "This ends now," he said, voice like forged steel. "I'm going to the principal." "No!" Panic surged. "They'll make it worse. Target you too." He stepped closer, too close for teacher-student, but the hallway noise muffled us. "I'm not afraid, Leo. Not for me. For you? Yeah. But silence is complicity." His protectiveness twisted something in my chest. Warm, terrifying. We talked then, really talked, about his move to Elmwood 5 years ago, fresh from Ohio State. Idealistic. About the whispers he'd endured, the colleague who'd outed him accidentally over beers. "I hid," he admitted, gaze distant. "Lost friends. But you're braver than I was." "Brave?" I laughed bitterly. "I'm surviving. That's bravery." His hand on my shoulder, brief, electric. "Promise me. Tell someone. Anyone." I promised. But trust was a fragile thing. Friday assembly was mandatory. The gym packed with bleary-eyed teens under banners screaming, "Bullying? Zero tolerance." Irony much? Principal Hargrove droned on about unity, but Jake's crew snickered behind me, one muttering, "Except for the ferry back there." I shrank into my seat, sweat beading despite the chill. David was on stage, part of the faculty panel, his expression unreadable. When Hargrove called for questions, a girl raised her hand. Sarah, Jake's girlfriend, all blonde ponytail and false innocence. "What about the kids who are different? Like, if they're making others uncomfortable?" The gym tensed. Eyes flicked to me. My stomach dropped. David leaned into the mic, voice calm but edged. "Different how, Sarah?" She faltered. "You know, like, gay or whatever." Murmurs rippled. Hargrove shifted uncomfortably, but David pressed on. "If different means living authentically, then discomfort is their problem, not yours. Bullying isn't discomfort. It's violence." Jake shot up. "That's bullshit, Mr. Hale. You can't force us to like it." The room exploded, shouts, chairs scraping. David stood, towering, his eyes locking on Jake. "Sit down, Mr. Reynolds. Or leave. This isn't a debate. It's a line in the sand." Security hustled Jake out, but the damage was done. Whispers turned to stares. On David now, not just me. As the assembly dissolved into chaos, he caught my eye from the stage, mouthing, "You okay?" I nodded, but inside, fear coiled. He'd drawn the battle lines for me, but wars have casualties. That night, rain hammered my window like accusations. I texted Mia. Things got worse. Teacher stood up for me. "What now?" Her reply, "Run while you can. They eat heroes alive." She was right. Monday morning, the school buzzed like a hive on fire. Graffiti on David's door. "Hail's a homo." Lockers vandalized with slurs. My own desk and homeroom bore a sharpened rainbow with a slash through it. Jake was suspended, but his echo lingered. David pulled me aside before first bell. His classroom felt smaller, air thick. "Ignore it. They're scared." "Of what?" "Us." The word slipped out, us, like we were a team, a something. He smiled faintly, but his eyes were shadowed. "Of change. Of truth." Then softer, "Leo, I should have told you sooner. I'm gay. Have been since forever. Seeing you fight this alone, it guts me." The confession hung, raw and real. My heart stuttered. Why hide? Cowardice. Career. But not anymore. He glanced at the clock. "Go. But remember, you're not alone." Class dragged, but his words buoyed me. Until lunch. That's when the betrayal hit. I found the note in my locker. "Meet behind the bleachers. Tell no one. A friend." Curiosity overrode caution. The football field was mud-slick from rain, bleachers looming like skeletal giants. A figure waited in the shadows. Not Jake, but Tyler, his quieter sidekick, all lanky limbs and nervous fidget. "Leo," he said, voice cracking. I can't do this anymore. Do what? The hate. It's wrong. He thrust a phone at me, screen glowing with texts. Jake's group chat, plans to teach Hale a lesson after school. Threats. Photos of David's car keyed already. Horror iced my veins. Why tell me? Because. Tyler's face crumpled. You're brave. And Mr. Hale? He's the only one who ever saw me, too. Back when I was questioning. He didn't judge. Questioning. The word unlocked it. Tyler's secret mirroring mine. Betrayal from within the pack. Help us, I whispered. Stand with him. Tyler nodded, tears streaking. I will. But Jake. He's unhinged. We parted, me clutching the phone like evidence. Racing to David's room, I burst in, breathless. He was erasing the graffiti, sleeves rolled, muscles taut. Leo? What's? I shoved the phone at him. They're coming for you, after school. His face drained of color, but resolve hardened it. Then we face it, together. As the final bell rang, dread settled. The bold action? It was starting. But at what cost? The after-school bell tolled like a funeral dirge, emptying Lincoln High into the gray November dusk. I lingered in David's classroom, the air heavy with chalk dust and unspoken fears. Outside, the parking lot was a sea of yellow buses and minivans, parents honking impatiently. But under the bleachers, that was no man's land, where grudges festered like open wounds. David locked his door, turning to me with that steady gaze. You should go home, Leo. Let me handle this. No way. My voice cracked, but I held his eyes. Tyler's with us. He spilled everything. Surprise flickered across his face, softening the lines of worry. Tyler? Good kid. Misguided friends. He raked a hand through his hair, exhaling. Okay, but stay back. No heroics. We slipped out a side door, cutting across the soccer field, mud sucking at our shoes. The wind whipped leaves into mini tornadoes, carrying the faint scent of wet earth and distant bonfires. Thanksgiving looming, a holiday of forced family cheer I dreaded. My phone buzzed. Mom, dinner at 6. Love you. Guilt twisted. How could I explain this? The bleachers loomed, rusted metal groaning under the gusts. Shadows pooled beneath, and there they were. Jake, flanked by 2 others. Big guys from the team, faces twisted in bravado. Tyler hovered at the edge, pale as milk. Mr. Hale, Jake drawled, stepping forward. A baseball bat dangling loose in his grip like a threat wrapped in nonchalance. Fancy seeing you here. David halted, me a step behind, heart jackhammering. Reynolds, that's a nice touch. Compensating. Snickers from the goons, but Jake's eyes narrowed to slits. This is about boundaries. You and your little speeches poisoning the school. And him, jerking his chin at me, spreading his agenda. Agenda. David's laugh was sharp, cutting through the wind. Try existing, Jake. It's not contagious. The circle tightened. Tyler shifted, mumbling, Guys, this is stupid. Shut it, traitor. Jake swung the bat. Not at us, but the bleacher support, the clang reverberating like thunder. Metal dented, and I flinched, memories of gravel in my mouth flashing. David stepped forward, shielding me instinctively. Enough. You're suspended. This? Assault. Walk away now. Jake's face contorted, ugly with rage. Or what? You gonna cry to Hargrove? That spineless prick. The goons advanced, but Tyler bolted forward, grabbing Jake's arm. Stop. It's over. I told them. Betrayal ignited. Jake whirled, bat raised. Time slowed. The swing, Tyler's gasp. The sickening thud as it clipped his shoulder. Tyler crumpled, howling, blood blooming on his jacket. You fuck. I lunged, but David's arm barred me, strong and unyielding. Run, Leo. Get help. Jake recovered, eyes wild, turning on David. The bat arced again. David dodged, but not fully. It grazed his ribs, eliciting a grunt of pain. Chaos erupted, shouts, scuffles. I sprinted toward the school, legs burning, screaming for security. Behind me, grunts and thuds, the fight spilling into the open field. By the time guards arrived, sirens wailing in the distance, it was over. Jake and his crew pinned by faculty, Tyler curled fetal, David on one knee, clutching his side, blood staining his shirt, and me, panting, hands shaking as I dropped beside him. "Leo," he wheezed, managing a crooked smile. "Told you. No heroics." Ambulance lights painted the lot crimson and blue, a surreal disco for our drama. Hospital smelled of bleach and regret. Sterile white walls closing in as nurses poked and prodded. Tyler, dislocated shoulder, bruised ribs. David, cracked rib, superficial cuts. Me, unscathed except for the emotional shrapnel. Mom arrived first, eyes wide with maternal fury, hugging me until I couldn't breathe. Mijo, what madness! Dad behind her, silent but steely, hand on my shoulder like a vow. David's room was down the hall. I snuck in after visiting hours, the beep of monitors a somber rhythm. He was propped up, for dripping, looking smaller under the thin blanket, vulnerable, human. "You scared me?" I whispered, perching on the chair. "Mutual." His voice was rough, but eyes warm. "Tyler's okay. Press charges. Jake's done, expulsion, cops." Relief flooded, but so did the ache. "Why'd you do it?" "For me." He reached, fingers brushing mine, brief, forbidden spark. "Not just you. For all of us. The kids like Tyler, like me back then." Silence kills slower, but it kills. Tears blurred him. "I like you, Mr. Hale. More than students should." His grip tightened, then released. "David. And Leo. Feelings are messy. But you're extraordinary." That night, discharge papers in hand, I walked home under streetlights, the town asleep. But sleep evaded me. Dreams tangled. Bats swinging, confessions whispered. A future where we weren't defined by hate. School reopened Tuesday to a media circus. Local news vans clogging the lot, reporters sniffing for scandal. "Hero teacher stands against bullying," screamed the Elmwood Gazette. Hargrove called an emergency assembly, his face ashen, promising reforms. David returned Thursday, bandaged but unbroken, addressing the gym. "This isn't about one fight. It's about choosing sides." Hate whispers. Courage roars. Cheers erupted, tentative at first, then thunderous. Tyler, arm in sling, stood beside him, earning nods. Even Sarah teared up. Jake's seat gaped empty, a void. But undercurrents simmered. Notes in my locker. "Snitch," whispers in halls. "Hale's got an agenda." And David? He withdrew, our extra sessions cut short, doors closed during lunch. One afternoon I cornered him. "What's wrong?" "We won." His laugh was hollow. "Did we?" "Board meeting tomorrow." Hargrove spinning it. Isolated incident. But parents are raging. Jake's dad wants my head. Fear clawed. "Fight it." "I am." But his eyes said otherwise, haunted, retreating. That betrayal stung deeper than fists. The system, turning on its savior. I confided in Mom over tamales, her hands flour-dusted. "Mijo, heroes bleed. But love, it mends." Love. The word hung, illuminating my tangle for David. Not lust. Something soul-deep, romantic in its quiet intensity. Friday, the axe fell. Intercom crackled during algebra. "Mr. David Hale to the office." Immediately. Hallway froze. I slipped out, tailing him to admin row. Door ajar. Voices leaked. Hargrove's bluster. Board members growl. Liability. Morals clause. Resign quietly. David's reply. Steel-wrapped hurt. For protecting a student? No. Then suspension. Pending review. The door slammed. David emerged. Face a mask. But eyes met mine, crushed. "Leo." "Don't." I grabbed his arm, pulling him into the stairwell, echoey and dim. "This is bullshit. We fight." He cupped my face, thumbs brushing cheeks. Tender, paternal yet charged. I can't lose you in the crossfire. Go to class. But I didn't. Instead, I rallied Tyler, Mia via text. She'd visit soon. Even Sarah, who confessed guilt. I egged Jake on. Stupid. By lunch, petitions circulated. Stand with Hale. Hashtags trended locally, Elmwood Pride. David's suspension hit news feeds, igniting fury. Protests brewed. Parents marching, alumni emailing. My own viral post. Anonymous, but raw. A teacher saved me. Don't let them bury him. That evening, at home, Dad cracked a beer, rare vulnerability. Reminds me of the fields back home, standing tall against the wind. Mom nodded. Courage, Leo. Like your abuelita. Courage. I texted David, we're not done. Hold on. His reply. For you? Always. But storms brew before they break. Saturday. A call shattered the calm. Tyler, sobbing. Jake's out on bail. Talking revenge. Says he'll expose Hale. Something personal. Expose. The word chilled. What secrets did Jake hold? As night fell, I realized. The bold action wasn't David's alone. It was ours. And the climax? It was barreling down like a freight train. Sunday morning dawned brittle. Frost etching the windows of our Elmwood bungalow like fragile accusations. I woke to the scent of Café de Alia brewing. Mom's ritual, cinnamon-laced comfort against the world's sharp edges. But comfort felt like betrayal. David was suspended, Jake free, and Tyler's warning echoed like a siren's wail. I checked my phone. 247 notifications. Stand with Hale exploding on Twitter. Faces I recognized from assembly sharing stories. Hidden pains, quiet victories. Mom slid a plate of huevos rancheros my way, her dark eyes searching. You look like you carry the world, Mijo. Feels like it. I poked at the eggs, appetite fled. David, Mr. Hale. They can't fire him. Not for this. She sat, taking my hand, calloused from years at the factory. Injustices, they fester. But voices? They amplify. A pause, then your voice, Leo. Use it. Her words ignited something primal. By noon, I was at the library, commandeering a public computer, drafting an op-ed for the Gazette. From the trenches of tolerance, why Lincoln High failed me and how one teacher fixed it. Fingers flew, pouring out the locker slams, the slop dumps, David's quiet interventions. No names for Jake, but the raw truth of hate's anatomy. I hit send, heart in throat. Then, outreach. Tyler met me at the park, sling awkward as we paced leaf-strewn paths. Jake texted me all night. Threats. Says he has proof Hale's grooming you. Grooming. The slur twisted my gut, weaponizing care into perversion. Lies. But it'll stick. Tyler nodded, guilt etching his young face. I told him to stop. He laughed. Said his dad's lawyers involved. The web tightened. Mia arrived that afternoon, her beat-up Civic rattling into the driveway. Back from community college, pixie-cut dyed electric blue. Leo. Hug fierce, then pull back scrutiny. You idiot. Texting at 2 a.m.? Spiel. Over hot chocolate I did everything. Her eyes welled. David sounds like a saint. But teacher-student? Tread light. Babe. Optics are killers. Optics. The American curse. Perception over truth. Monday, school was a powder keg. Pro-Hale signs taped to lockers. Rainbow fists pumping courage. Anti-slurs chalked on sidewalks. But Jake's return? Suspended, yet spotted lurking by the chain link. Eyes feral. David's absence hollowed the halls. His classroom. Sub-droning Shakespeare. Oblivious. I skipped, heading to Hargrove's office instead. Door open. He hunched over files. Ty askew. Mr. Ramirez. Sigh like I was a headache. Class. I need to talk. About Mr. Hale. He steepled fingers, politician's mask. Investigations ongoing. Go back. No. Voice steadier than I felt. You let this happen. Jake's crew. For years. Donations don't buy silence. His face mottled. Watch your tone. Or what? Suspend me too. I leaned in, channeling David's steel. The community's watching. Stand with Hale? That's us. Fire him, and it burns you. He deflated, waving me out. Small win but Pyrrhic. After school, Tyler texted coordinates. Abandoned lot behind the diner. Jake's summit. I went alone, stupid but fury blinded. Dust devils swirled as I approached. Jake leaning on his truck. Bat stowed but menace radiating. Ramirez. Smirk oily. Come to beg. To warn. I squared up, smaller but unbowed. Drop it. Evidence is out. Your chats. Tyler's statement. His laugh barked. Evidence? I got better. Hale's emails. To some boyfriend in Columbus. Creepy shit. Leaking it tomorrow. With you attached. Groomer and his pet. Ice-flooded veins. Boyfriend? David's secret life weaponized. You're disgusting. And you're done. He lunged not to hit, but shove. I stumbled, asphalt biting palms. Then, tires crunched. Mia's Civic, screeching halt. She jumped out, phone raised. Smile, asshole. Live streaming. Jake froze, color draining. Delete that. Or what? Cops love viral felonies. Her voice? Ice and fire. He backed off, truck roaring away. Mia helped me up, hugging tight. Never alone, Leo. Remember. We drove to David's, address from a subbed lesson plan. His apartment. Second floor walk-up in a faded complex. Bookshelves groaning with Kerouac and Baldwin. Jazz vinyls stacked by a turntable. He answered in sweats, unshaven, surprise melting to concern. Leo? Mia? What's? I thrust the phone at him. Mia's stream already 500 views. Jake's bluffing. But the emails. David's face shuddered, guiding us in. Couch sagged under us, coffee steaming untouched. Old stuff, ex from college. Nothing salacious, but twisted? Yeah. Mia's hand on his knee, platonic anchor. We fight fire with flood. Op-ed drops tomorrow. Petitions hit 1,000. He nodded, but eyes on me soft, searching. You didn't have to come. Yes, I did. The room shrank, air electric. Mia coughed tactfully. Bathroom. Alone, the dam broke. I can't lose you, David. Not to this. His arms enveloped, hug chaste, but profound, heartbeat sinking. Nor I you. But Leo, this bond, it's everything. And nothing we can name yet. Romantic undercurrent, humanistic core. Love as rebellion, not possession. That night the storm hit. Gazette published my piece at midnight, shares cascading. News anchors picked it up. Student speaks out in teacher bullying saga. Protests swelled. LGBTQ plus allies from Columbus marching to Lincoln High. Signs blazing, protect our protectors. But Jake's leak dropped at dawn. Doctored screenshots, emails spliced with innuendo, my name photoshopped in. Social media ignited, trolls swarming, slurs flying. Predator. Cancel Hale. School closed, for safety. Hargrove's emergency call. Resignation or termination. David chose fight. Press conference, town square under overcast skies. Microphone trembling slightly. He faced the cameras. I'm gay. Proudly. I stood for Leo because every kid deserves that stand. Fire me? Fine. But truth? It endures. Crowd roared me in front row. Mia squeezing my hand. Tyler beside. Sling a badge. Mom and Dad there too, Dad's nod proud. Even Hargrove, cornered, mumbled support. But climax crested violently. As cheers peaked, Jake burst from the fringes. Crowbar in hand, eyes manic. Liar! He charged the stage, aiming for David. Time fractured. I vaulted the barrier, tackling him mid-stride. We tumbled, gravel grinding, his weight crushing. Stop! My scream raw. Cops swarmed, wrenching him off. David knelt, pulling me up, face ashen. Leo, God. I'm okay. Bruised but whole. Jake cuffed, snarling defeat. The square hushed, then erupted anew. Hero, not David alone. The aftermath crashed like waves on a jagged shore. Relentless, carving away the old to reveal something raw and new. Jake's arrest dominated headlines. Vandalism, assault, cyberbullying charges. His dad's influence crumbled under evidence. Tyler's testimony, Mia's video, the chat logs I'd screenshot in secret. Lincoln High reopened Wednesday, but transformed. Rainbow stickers on doors, counselors in every hall, Hargrove's reform speech laced with genuine contrition. David's reinstatement came Thursday, board buckling under petition pressure and national eyes. CNN clip of the presser looping, my tackle mythologized as students daring save. But glory felt hollow. Bruises bloomed purple on my arms, a map of close calls, and David's eyes carried shadows deeper than suspension. We reconvened in his classroom after hours, door locked against prying eyes. Sun slanted low, gilding dust motes like fireflies. He sat on his desk, me in the front row, knees almost touching. A proximity both comfort and torment. You could have been hurt worse, he said, voice low, tracing my bruises with gaze alone. Reckless. Your life mattered more. Defiant but throat tight. He slid down, kneeling before me, echo of that first aid day, but inverted. Leo, listen. This is a gift, but I'm your teacher. Lines blur, and blur them. Whisper bold as the tackle. I feel it too. Not kid crush. Real. His breath hitched, hand hovering near mine. Real's dangerous.
Icare, deeply, romantically.
But timing. Betrayal's ghost lingered. The system's initial knife twist, Jake's leak twisting affection to accusation. We proved them wrong. Together. A beat. Then his fingers laced with mine, warm, anchoring. No kiss, no rush. Just connection. Humanistic in its restraint. Together. Life normalized. Fractured but mending. Tyler came out quietly, joining GSA Club. Our numbers swelling to 20. Meetings buzzing with stories swapped like sacred texts. Mia stayed weekends, her presence a buffer, her quips lightening the heavy. But conflict simmered domestic. At home, Dad's pride warred with worry. This teacher, Leo, he good man? The best. Over dinner, plates clinking, I shared snippets, David's Vonnegut rants, his quiet advocacy. Mom smiled, but added, hearts heal slow, Mijo. Guard yours. School's pulse shifted. Jake's crew splintered, some apologizing in scrawled notes, others transferring. Sarah approached me in the cafeteria, tray trembling. I was wrong. About everything. Can we talk? We did, on the bleachers, ironic ground zero. Her tears. Regret for complicity. Fear of her own buried truths. EMB. Hid it. Jake hated that weakness. Humanity in the enemy. Not monsters, but mirrors. Own it, I said, like David taught. She nodded, joining our circle. Forgiveness a quiet revolution. David and I navigated the minefield. Stolen glances in class, his voice lingering on, oh captain, my captain. With Whitman undercurrent. After school, tutoring. Poetry dissections devolving to life talks, dreams shared. He confessed Ohio State days, closeted hookups, a bad breakup that scarred. Thought love was a trap. Then you changed me too, from victim to voice. But climax's echo demanded reckoning. Board hearing loomed, formal review, parents testifying. Jake's dad sued, claiming defamation, twisting protection to persecution. The night before, David paced his apartment, me cross-legged on the rug, jazz crooning low, Miles Davis, melancholic trumpet. If they fire me, they won't. I stood, framing his face. We have proof. Stories. Us. He pulled me close, hug fierce, heartbeats dueling. What if I leave anyway? For you, to let you grow without shadows. Panic surged. Don't. This is home. Home. The word unlocked it. Elmwood. Flawed but ours. His lips brushed my forehead, chased seal. Then we fight. Hearing dawned crisp. Community center packed. Standing room only. Air electric with anticipation. Hargrove opened. Voice quavering. Testimonies for Mr. Hale's character. First, Tyler, sling shed, voice steady. He saved me from hate, from myself. Then Sarah showed mercy when I deserved none. Mom and Dad, our son stands taller because of him. Me last, podium cool under palms. David Hale didn't just teach English. He taught survival. Romance of the soul, Whitman's electric body. Not flesh, but spirit. Firing him, that's the real violence. Silence, then applause, thunderous. Jake's dad rose, blustering, but evidence mounted. Psych eval showing his son's rage rooted in home, not school. Board deliberated an hour, agony. Verdict, reinstatement, full. Plus, anti-bullying curriculum overhaul, mandatory training. Cheers deafened. David hugged me on stage. Public, platonic, but eyes promised more. But betrayal's final twist. Post-hearing, anonymous email to David. Leaked from board files. Hargrove's private memo. Hale's involvement with Ramirez suspect. Monitor. Suspicion even in victory. David's face in the lamplight later. Weary. They'll never fully trust. Then we build our own. Resolve, romantic in defiance. Winter deepened. Snow blanketing Elmwood in hush. Holidays approached. Thanksgiving at my house. David invited as family friend. Table groaned with turkey and tamales. Laughter bridging gaps. Dad clapped his back. Bienvenido. Mom's eyes twinkled. Reading the undercurrents. Christmas. Secret gift exchange in his classroom, door barred. He gave me a first edition Leaves of Grass. Inscribed, to Leo, my captain. Electric forever.
D.
Mine mixtape vinyl side of jazz. Be indie folk songs of longing, not lust. New Year. Bonfire at Tyler's farm. Circle of us. Firelight dancing on faces. David and I slipped away, woods whispering. Under stars, gloved hands entwined. This year, he murmured. We claim joy. Kiss then. First, soft as snowflake, tasting of pine and promise. No heat, just depth. Emotional summit, humanistic vow. But spring brought tempests. Prom loomed. GSA planning a pride prom alternative. Rainbow tuxes, safe space. Jake's trial. Guilty plea, juvenile detention. His dad dropped suit, slinking away. Yet, personal storm. David's ex resurfaced, email innocuous, but stirring doubts. Miss you. Columbus calling. Jealousy nipped, irrational. Confrontation over coffee. Go if you want. His laugh tender. Silly boy. You're my now. My always. Resolution. Trust rebuilt. Brick by humanistic brick. Graduation neared. Capstones of conflict yielding to growth. My speech. Valedictorian honor. Words weaving our saga. Hate shook us, but love steadied. To David Hale. Thank you for the bold. Tears in his eyes. Front row. Diploma in hand, future beckoning, Ohio State for me, literature major. But ending? Not closure, but continuum. Summer. Road trip plans. National parks. Yellowstone's geysers mirroring our eruptions. One night, under tent stars, he whispered, Leo Ramirez, you shook my world. And you mine. Embrace, stars witnesses. Humanistic coda. Not fairy tale, but earned grace. In America's heartland, two souls. Teacher, student no more. Forged in fire, blooming in quiet romance. Summer unfurled like a well-worn novel. Pages dog-eared, margins alive with notes from our shared story. Elmwood's heat wave baked the cornfields golden, but air-conditioned escapes dotted our days. David's apartment a sanctuary of iced tea and lazy afternoons. Books splayed open on the coffee table like invitations to dream. Graduation's echo lingered. My tassel still pinned to the rear view of Mom's old Honda. A talisman against the unknown. College loomed in August, but July was ours. Unscripted, unbound. We drove west that first weekend, windows down, Springsteen's Thunder Road blasting. A Jersey anthem adopted for Ohio wanderers. Yellowstone's geysers erupted in faithful fury, mirroring the catharsis we'd chased since the bleachers' brawl. At Old Faithful, steam plumed skyward, and David pulled me close, chin on my shoulder. Like us, he murmured. Pressure builds, then release. Beautiful chaos. I leaned back, his arms a steady harbor. No more hiding? None. His voice, gravel rough from trail dust, carried the weight of vows unspoken. Our romance was a slow burn. Kisses stolen in dawn light, hands intertwined on hikes, conversations threading past to future like quilt stitches. No rush to bedsheets. Intimacy bloomed in vulnerability, the humanistic poetry of two men mending fractures. Back home, realities intruded. David's contract renewed, but with clauses, professional boundaries underlined twice. Hargrove's memo haunted. A specter in faculty lounge whispers. Careful, Hale, a colleague joked, not unkindly. Kids talk. David laughed it off, but tension coiled. My job at the diner. Flipping burgers, dodging grease splatters, afforded independence, but evenings free for us. Bonfires with Tyler and Mia, now official couple, their banter a light foil to our depth. One night, flames crackling, Tyler raised a beer, soda for me, underage rebel. To survivors. His shoulder scar faded, but story etched permanent. Jake wrote me from juvie. Apology. Sounded. Broken. Forgiveness's edge. Sharp. Necessary. Read it. I asked. Yeah. Burned it. Symbolic ash joining the embers. David's eyes met mine across the fire. Understanding. Proud. Later, in the truck bed under meteor shower, we lay tangled in blankets, Perseides streaking. Betrayal taught me, he said, fingers tracing constellations on my arm. Jake's? The boards? It strips illusions. Leaves truth. Truth like this. My head on his chest, heartbeat a lullaby. Exactly. August crept, packing boxes a countdown. Mom cried packing my dorm quilt. Hand-stitched, Frida motifs fierce. Call every day, Mijo. And him? Cherish. Dad grunted approval, slipping cash. For road trips. Keep him honest. David helped load the car, muscles straining under boxes labeled books and dreams. Goodbye kiss in the driveway. Prolonged, poignant. Neighbors' curtains twitching, but we didn't care. Weekends, he promised. Columbus is close. Drive to OSU. Buckeye leaves rustling welcome. Campus alive with freshman frenzy. Dorms smelled of fresh paint and possibility. My roommate, Alex, a theater kid from Cincinnati, all dramatic flair and zero judgment. Gay? Cool.
I'm pan.
Let's conquer. Classes ignited. Lit 101 with a prof echoing David's passion, but none matched his fire. Texts flew daily. Miss your voice. Reading Baldwin, your wreck. His replies. Proud. Dinner Friday. First visit. He arrived in his truck, flannel crisp, bearing takeout tamales. Mom's recipe he'd coaxed. My single room too small for secrets. We walked Mirrors Pond. Autumn leaves carpeting paths. How's freedom? He teased. Lonely without you. Honesty, raw. Hand in hand, public now, collegiate bubble tolerant. Dinner at a dive, burgers rare, stories swapped. His school tales. GSA thriving, Tyler mentoring new kids. Your legacy, he said, foot nudging mine under table. Ours, I thought. Romance deepened. Letters now, handwritten, mailed like artifacts. His script elegant. Leo, in your absence, I remember the boy who tackled hate. You've tackled my heart. Mine, David, teach me still, from afar. Love's the boldest action. Winter break. Elmwood blanketed. Holiday lights twinkling defiance. Family dinner expanded. David at head, toasting to kin, blood and chosen. Mom's eyes misty. Dad's nod profound. But conflicts whisper. His ex, Mark, emailed again. Coffee? Closure. David shared, transparent. Old ghosts. Exorcise? I urged jealousy schooled to trust. He did met, returned lighter. Closed chapter. You're the volume. Spring. My play submission accepted. One act about a teacher and student, veiled but true. Premiere night, David in audience, applause hours. After party, stolen dance in campus bar, bodies close but chaste, rhythm sinking souls. Summer job, internship at Gazette, writing features, bullying exposés, pride profiles. David edited drafts over picnics, red pen gentle. Voice strong Leo, like you. His promotion. Department head, Hargrove retired, new principal ally. We won, he said, champagne flutes clinking. But climax's true arc. Jake's release, summer dawn. Paroled, low-profile return to Elmwood. Rumor mill churned, therapy mandated, job at dad's garage. Encounter inevitable at the diner, me on shift. He slid into booth, gaunt, eyes downcast. Coffee, black. I poured, hand steady. Jake. Ramirez. Pause then sorry. For everything. Words hung, insufficient but start. Prove it. He nodded. Trying. Group. For anger. Glimpse. Boy unmasked. Human frailty. I told David later, porch swing creaking. Forgave. Not yet. Understanding? Yeah. Humanism's grace. Redemption possible, not promised. Fall senior year thesis on queer lit, David advisor, ethical now, peers.
Graduation again. Mine, cap winged.
Speech. Actions echo. One teacher's bold stand rippled, to hear, to us. David in crowd, eyes shining. Post-ceremony. Ring, simple silver, engraved electric. Promise ring, he said, kneeling dramatic. Marry me? Someday. Tears, yes. Not today, careers first, lives aligning. But vow sealed. Years blurred, my journalism grad, his MFA. We moved, Columbus loft, bookshelves merging. Wedding small, Ohio courthouse, Mia officiating, Tyler best man. Vows. In chaos, you my anchor. Enjoy, my spark. Honeymoon. Yellowstone redux, geysers faithful. Circle complete. Epilogues humanism. We return to Elmwood. Adjuncts at Lincoln mentors now. GSA boomed. Stories of us legend, cautionary, inspirational. Jake? Sober, married, volunteer coach. Teaching tolerance he once torched. One evening, sunset painting the fields, David and I on the porch, older, lines earned. Shook the school, he mused. Shook the world. Hand in his eternal. And in that quiet American heartland, love, dramatic, suspenseful, emotional, romantic, endured. Not perfect, but profoundly human.